play. Ooh. We've accomplished so much. We're still missing a level in that last question mark block, but I'm sure it'll reveal itself at some point.
I mean, we've managed to do pretty much everything we set out to, which, in fairness, wasn't much, but...
Well, I mean, yeah, we beat every level at least once on punishment mode. We got all these wonderful S ranks with the most panic-inducing S font possible.
Yeah, equal parts neurons and cancer.
In a centipede. But we're still missing a couple ranks in a punishment skull. And it's at our home base. Weird.
There's nothing to do there. I mean, everyone's nice and happy. No one there deserves killing, do they?
No, but I don't know. I've been holding on to this for a while, ever since the Archon grid. And people have been saying weird things about how, 640 by 480 is a resolution ordained by God or some shit, so...
I mean, if it's good enough... Whoa, Jesus.
Yep, this is the real deep-fried edition of Cruelty Squad. This is what the Holy Scope does. This is the only time I'm gonna wear it, so it won't last long. Right now, we need to wear this because it will lead us to something very important, actually.
Okay, anyone from the UK of a certain age who remembers teletext is going to be having weird flashbacks right about now.
Fortunately, I am spared from that. So we go back here to, the sewer canal. Naturally, now that we have, long-range implants like the Grapenics or whatever, we can actually cross it and go up this ladder that we can barely see.
I'll take your word for it.
Also, there's a flesh rat there, but we can't see it on this floor, so we have to go into this room that wasn't here before. If you came up here at any other point... yeah, and you also can barely read the text as well with, the colors. Yeah,
I saw wake up sheeple, so whatever that is, it deserves to die.
Also, that flesh rat did not have the flesh rat model. It was actually, a Zippy 3000.
Yeah.
But it still would have inflicted Toxic Crisis. Anyway, there's 2 orbs. The left one gives us Divine Light, which we actually could have done if we got to it in Archon grid. But the right one, we also saw in Archon grid. Our HUD is different now.
Did we just set Venom free?
So...
Is it finally Morbin time?
We have now eradicated all hope.
Oh dear.
Yes, there are also new S-rank categories. This is what I was, teasing and prodding about the possibility of there being, a super secret difficulty besides the 3 we had already demonstrated. This is Hope Eradicated, or is what is sometimes colloquially referred to in the shorthand as Cursed. Because if you remember to an implant we picked up early on in the game called the Curse Torch, that's actually an alternate way we could have activated this mode if we wanted, where you equip that and it automatically activates this. And then this NPC spawns in Idiot Party. Imagine how hard it would be to find these, unique NPCs that actually have hints if you didn't have the NPC, slider and the options turned off. But yeah, that's basically the in-game hints the game gives you that there's something extra for you in pharmacokinetics that you can only access on Hope Eradicated. You might actually remember it because the dude that's tied to it actually spawned in the main playthrough before he was supposed to. Because of this game's weird, random, Hope Eradicated enemy spawning bullshit. Also, it changes the enemy layouts, because that dude was not there before.
And that dude was also about 10 times faster than anything else on this stage.
Yeah, we straight up got a Dark World soldier here of all things. Anyway, this is the dude from Pure Optics. Just straight up, he was here for some reason on Divine Light, even though he was not supposed to. And Still weirds me out that that even happened when I was trying to record that first mission without dying. So apparently he's offering us like a special once-in-a-lifetime surgical operation that'll change our lives forever.
Yeah, his talk of new openings, I've seen Rabid. That's not a good thing.
Yeah, and that door we can only open if we're on Hope Eradicated is the one that spews out garbled text if we touch it.
Oh, yeah.
So we're dead now.
Mr. Stark, I don't feel so good.
Yep. Instead of a life orb, we have death orb. We have slightly faster movement speed and also inexplicably a wall jump. Although it's kind of finicky to pull off properly, especially because of how, like, I already used, like, the Funk Grunters, which are the upgrades to the Gunk Boosters. And so, like, trying to press that, like, kind of overrides a lot of, like, the reliability of the wall jump. But it's nice to have as a backup in the event that it's like, yeah, you're still falling and you've used up all of your jumps.
Great, we're now in shit-stained Ninja Gaiden. So, Ninja Gaiden Yaiba, basically.
We don't talk about that evil in here.
Fine, 3.
That too, we don't. Also, oh fuck, all of the friendly NPCs we met after the first 5 missions are now dead. What?
Oh dear.
They just convulsed and died.
Did we accidentally usher in a purge? Maybe.
But now this door that we couldn't open before is openable. And that's, that hallway is... not only is it what I was joking about back in Department Atrocity about, like, a spiral corridor like in Constantine's mansion from Thief, but B, those particles are the reason why we went to go and get death surgery. Because another effect that being dead has is we're immune to radiation now. That hall is irradiated. And also, if we wanted to, we could just stand in clouds of radiation left by, like, our Bolt ACR, and it would be fine. But I'm going to do something extra funny as well, and that means going back to that room with the orbs.
So I think it only renders you immune to radiation, so stuff like Toxic Crisis isn't going to have much of a difference.
Right, Toxic Crisis still happens, as well as, like, the chemical clouds from, like, the grenades. Anyway, here's what we were talking about. This is the other way you access that room if you don't want to equip the Holy Scope.
Because honestly, I can't say I wouldn't blame you.
Yeah, it's real silly. And yes, and now I'm doing the funny thing that I say I'm doing is that we opened that door when we were on Hope Eradicated, but since that door is the only one that requires us to open it with, like, while being cursed, we could just go back and restore our divine light. But
we're still
the thing
dead.
Yeah, we're still dead, and like, this level's weird in how it works because while the scoreboard, like, on the level select indicates that, yes, there are, like, ranks and times you can get for beating this on both the regular difficulties and Hope Eradicated, like, because you can't access any of this without being cursed beforehand, is, like, the enemy layouts are essentially, like, set in stone no matter what. So we're on Divine Light fighting against Hope Eradicated enemies. And I'm also starting this with stock weapons because I just want to get out of the way, like, just for completion's sake, having those first 2 S ranks filled in. Well, not S ranks, just ranks in general, because I'm taking so long with this that it's not even fast enough for something that would qualify as an S rank.
I think that's the first time we've seen one of those guys close up.
Oh yeah, the shock troopers with, like, which just have, like, the bouncy suits. Yeah. I mean, we kind of got up close to one of them in Miner's Miracle, but they did not have, like, the bright red color on their suits. But it's still the same rules that apply, where it's like you have to shoot at the slit in their head, and doing so will just, like, count as, like, a headshot because they're otherwise heavily armored.
Yeah.
We got to go up these stairs first and, like, find another weapon though, because something at the very end of that straight tunnel is extremely dangerous, and we are not prepared to deal with it right now.
Oh, I know what that is.
Yeah, this level, especially with how I'm doing it, where I put myself back on Divine Light, is like, this was like the biggest pain in the ass as far as like trying to get through without dying. Because if I die, like, I get boosted down to Flesh Automaton, but I can't continue from there. I have to go back to being cursed, and then the same process of opening the door, go to the Divine Orb and get it and all that. It was kind of a pain, but it was worth it by the end.
Not easy by any stretch.
Nope. Especially when it came to what's at the top here.
Just wrangle your way past walls.
I saw like a dude like moving by with the life sensor, and I thought I could maybe like take him out just in case, because I had no idea if he was going to go through the door to the room I was in. Oh, killed another janitor. Now this room, in that small doorway, once we get up there, is very special and very dangerous. It looks like a golem.
That's a large friend.
Yeah, but it's not just an ordinary golem. And he has a hard time staying still, which means if I try and shoot him while he's moving, I'm going to waste more depleted uranium rounds than I do spent. Oh, but I still got him.
Yeah, I think he's about 5 times faster than any other golem we've seen so far.
I think he's about the same speed, it's just the room is so small he bounces everywhere. Anyway, the reason we had to stay down there, he explodes into flechettes.
Oh, of course he does.
Like, and then there's like a Dark World like rocket dude here. Well, not just the regular rocket dude, but it's like, the flechette golem is, I'd argue, like the real boss of this side path. Like the dude with the rocket might as well be like a victory lap or like a haha got you if you're not expecting it, because you'll get point blank exploded. But the reward is a bolt action rifle that is the greatest weapon of the entire game under certain stipulations, if you're like me, if you have a CEO mindset and you've been playing the stock market correctly.
I mean, if it's good enough for Lee Harvey Oswald, allegedly.
Allegedly, big air quadruple quotes. Quintuple quotes. Yeah. This is the ZKZ transactional rifle.
Yeah. For some reason, I was picturing it to be more sci-fi than a bolt-action rifle, but...
Its main gimmick is that its power scales with the amount of holdings you have in the stock market. It caps out at 1 million. And can one-shot basically anything when it's at that point.
And in order to get one of the endings, it is mandatory.
Well, not entirely mandatory. There is another way, but it's slow and arduous.
Yeah. Unless you feel like wasting half an hour, it's mandatory.
More like 40 seconds, I think, but it feels like half an hour. There is, however, one more thing we need to get. This level not only holds the best weapon of the game, for non-armored enemies, I should add. Like, that's actually its main weak point. I'm using the rocket on, like, this armored flower beast, because the ZKC rifle, despite all of its attack power, when you have $1 million in holdings, it does not pierce armor. So you still need, like, another reliable armor-piercing weapon as a backup. However, this level is home to the best implants of the entire game. You'll know it's the best because it becomes a crutch. Like, it becomes like a crucial point of, like, the next set of S runs I do in the video after this. Because, of course, we got 2 new categories for ranks, being on Hope Eradicated and whatnot. Of course we're gonna do another round of speed runs in this fucking game. Gotta be careful, though, because there's one more tough enemy in here. It's a variant of the Necromech called, like, I think the God Mech. Instead of having dual, like, heavy machine guns, it has dual grenade launchers. And we all know how grenade launchers are in this universe.
Yeah, getting a bit of a Killer 7 vibe from this, at this point.
we got the Abominator.
Sounds friendly.
Yeah, the name... It's probably filling your head with so many ideas of what it could be, yet none of them probably actually are what it does.
I mean, off the top of my head, I'm thinking the Violator from Shadow Man, if anyone remembers that.
Oh, yeah.
Spinning blades and bullets.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the icon for it is like an orb. Kind of looks like, again, it could easily be something like the cerebral boar from Phantasm, even though we already got a gun that just shoots it.
Yeah, a bit late for that, unfortunately.
Yeah, I mean, like that is like a funny weapon that is like, I'm glad that it exists, but because of just like the 20 points of health that it uses, it's like no wonder like I don't use it often, if at all. Because that's kind of a high cost on top of just the limited ammo it has anyway. It's all the fish we collected up to this point.
They look happy. Good for them.
They don't mind the fact that they're swimming in blood. There's also a side path here you could take that is unfortunately still irradiated, like the main corridor, but it does have some interesting things hidden inside. So it's like if you wanted a way that gets around that room with like the snipers and the shock trooper, I mean, here's this. But there's also a special NPC we can find here. Right through those doorways. Sup, dude? Well, good for you, buddy.
Life reconfigured. I'm sure that's something I've read from like a horror story.
Yeah. Sounds like something Am does on the regular.
Yeah, something where it's like, okay, you look like a normal human, but what if we fold, spindle, and mutilate your DNA just a little bit? Just perform a few mild adjustments to your genetic code.
I feel like this universe, it would be capable, like Cruelty Squad would be capable of having like a supercomputer AI on like the scale and omnipotent power is something like Am from I Have No Mouth. And I worry whether or not the results would be he would just revel in how disgusting this is, or he would be so disgusted by what his creators like put him into this world for that he doesn't even want to like hold on to 5 people to torture endlessly. He just destroys everything.
He would either be like, huh, job done, okay. Or, or he would wind up being like, you guys are scaring me and I need to do something about this, and basically become an anti-Am.
Yeah. So that was the boss. You can one-shot him with the ZKC rifle, and he has a DNA scrambler. This is what makes him dangerous, because he doesn't kill you. He reconfigures your DNA that you stop moving, and according to the game, your body starts to feel weird. Anyway, we have reached the second ending. I'm generally pretty good at dealing with all like the assault on the senses this game usually throws at you, but looking at this screen, I feel has always been the harshest for me personally, which means it's probably worse for a lot more. But we are talking to life itself. And we had just finished killing his avatar. The one that was basically guarding him. So this is an interesting take on the idea of like the sort of, like metaphorical story or whatever, in like in some plots or whatever, where maybe like the hero trying to find the meaning of life, the answers to life's questions, all that stuff.
Yeah. Here
it's more like the answers life has to give you are entirely monetary and economical in the way that like this game's world is already built around, and just leaves you with a matter-of-fact good luck. Also the line, your friends are in hell yet you smile. Something that did not click with me initially until I realized that probably refers to like the special NPCs that come to HQ after you basically do the first few missions.
Oh yeah.
So it's like, yeah, just like walking in there having eradicated all hope, being on basically a warpath to become the most powerful uber-rich person in existence, has basically killed anyone you could consider a friend by proxy. Not even directly. You didn't even need to pull the trigger on them. It just caused them to have, like, an existential failure.
You showed up and they died.
Yeah. Like, it's significantly more bleak by comparison. Just because, like, we already went through, like, the first ending. It tries to, like, lure you to the idea of, like, yay, you freed the people. You made it so now it's, like, everyone can freely, like, avoid death now. It's not something that is just controlled by, like, a greater power anymore, like Abraxas or something. But it turns out to be, like, creating a false prison. This is like the follow-up to that, where it's like, well, I've created a false prison for me and the entire human race. Like, what I need to find the answers to, like, how I need to live my life. Oh, just keep being horrible? Oh, there's no way out? Oh, fuck.
It's like going up to God, asking the meaning of life, and him just going, I don't know, you do you, man.
Yeah, that's basically it. It's why I love, like, especially the final line of good luck. It's as direct and, like, not being layered in, like, any other, like, flavor text that would try and have, like, a very specific, like, tone to it. Like, it's not an encouraging, like, good luck, I know you can do it. Or not even, like, an overly condescending good luck, you'll need it. It's just, yeah, go
TV.
for it. Yeah, something will happen eventually.
It's like all those empty affirmation posters that you see in a job, you know?
Yes.
Like, you are the only one that can make your life better. And it's like, okay, how do I go about that? Making your life better.
Yeah, just the disingenuous nature of, like, those kind of motivations, and it's just like this, you know, as horrible as the implications are, like the literal, like, face of life itself is, like, more direct and honest about it than literally anyone else would try to be.
Yeah.
So that's where we're at in the universe. Well, we got our answers from life, and we are now its new avatar, because the back of our, as you might have seen, the back of our uniform now has life emblazoned on the back, which also was emblazoned on the back of the previous guy, so we just took his job.
The old Klingon promotion.
Pretty much. And all it took was being a stock market god. Or if you weren't that, you would have had to put it to sleep and then, like, cook his ass in, like, in a literal projectile microwave for 40 seconds. No joke. That's how it works. And it's like, if anyone has ever seen the video Civ11 did where he covered this game months and months back, that's how he got around to doing it, because, surprise, no one playing this for the first time knows to hold on to $1 million in the stock market.
Yeah, most of the people I've seen talk about trying to kill that without either using the special gun or by doing, for lack of a better term, fair ways of doing it, are like, yeah, there's not enough ammo in the level without using the ammo gland.
Yeah, and even then, depending on the weapon, it will recharge so slow that it's like, you probably aren't going to be able to get out of his aggro range in time before he finds you and turns you into a flesh blob.
Basically.
Yeah. There is also, like, I'm a bit rusty on, like, the specifics of it because I've not been able to recreate it, but I think people were able to find, like, a third method, but it's more of a glitch, and it's the kind of glitch where, like, you do it, like, in a sort of, like, weapon switch at a specific frame when you're firing another weapon. The problem is like, in certain situations, it basically causes the game to hard crash. So I was not going to try that. Even if it was possible to recreate it, I was not convinced that it would be, like, reliable enough. So we did what was basically the most efficient way of, like, killing him, even if it meant, like, long-term preparation. But, I mean, whatever. If you just follow my steps for the first 5 missions, it's like, you don't even need to think about how much money you have after that point. Just idle for 30 minutes, get several $1 million, don't look back. Set goals, have a 10-year plan.
I feel like the LP is starting to lap itself, and I'm not sure if I like it.
Well, we only got like 3 more videos left. We're not that far from the finish line.